Hi friends, welcome back to the channel today. My name is Winter. I'm a mom of 4 kids. This is my husband Chad. We adopted all our kids from the foster care system and we have another little guy on the way. And this video is kind of a sad video, so sorry about that first of all. But also we wanted to come on here to tell you like why we were absent from YouTube for the last week. I haven't been absent from YouTube for that long, in a very long time, and I just wanted to come in and explain what happened, but also give like an exhortation or a little motivational life encouragement for you guys to go by. So what happened was on Good Friday of this last couple weeks ago, I'm gonna cry again. Why am I such a crier? I've been crying for like a week and a half. Like Chad's father, he passed away very suddenly. It was really sad. It was hard. It was really difficult. He passed away doing what he loved. He was reaching out to one of his good friends on the golf course. He was playing golf and he suddenly passed away. He passed out and they couldn't resuscitate him. And it was very, very tragic because this man was 64 years old and he was amazing. So we really loved him a ton, and he lived for Jesus radically every day of his life. He was the best dad, grandfather you could have. You know, my dad's great too, you know, like he's my best dad, but for Chad he was the best dad, and he fathered us really well. So it was really difficult. It was a really difficult season. Yeah, that's what happened. That's why we were gone from YouTube for that long. I want to share a couple of cool things about how God was in it though, because sometimes when tragedy strikes, you just want to see like where's God in this situation, in this story. Do you want to share about your feelings, like when you first found out?
It was just a weird situation. We had just taken a trip to Missouri anyway, and like after an hour...
Missouri is where his family lives.
We actually are all from. Even my dad is from there, but he doesn't live there anymore. He lives up here in South Dakota, where kind of where I am, but not. Yeah. He lives in the capital, which is Pierre, and we live 2 hours to the east in Huron. But we went down to Missouri, where pretty much all of my family is from, except for him now, because he moved from Elkland, Missouri up to Pierre. Yeah. And
because he wanted to serve and like
he wanted to
be a part of a church mission.
Be a part of the church.
Yeah, they had like a church plant and he wanted to be part. He was a church planner. Yeah.
We went to the same church in Missouri with these same leaders, and a few of them had broken off to come up and plant this church, and now this second church, so I'm part of the second church plant from the same group of people, but some of them stayed behind in the other one. But originally, that's why both of us kind of moved up here, was
planners. That's why we
to
live
be with these
in the places we live,
leaders that we respected, and to help them, to move forward with the vision that we believed in, and he just went with the one in Pierre, and I went with the one in Huron. So they were the pastor of the one in Pierre was my associate pastor at the Church of Missouri, and his associate pastor. But the pastor here, the main pastor where we live, it was my youth pastor when I was 15 in Missouri. Yeah. And he's the one that moved from that
super
church. Super
connected, it's a huge family. We're all just integrated together. Are you gonna let me
share my feelings?
Go ahead. I'm sorry. You share your story.
All right. So we were down there for an hour in Missouri, barely, the kids have just started playing with the nephews and stuff, and they're kind of talking about her and my sister are talking about my dad's health issues and different stuff, just because he's had a lot of different things going on with his body, and it just seems like they can never quite figure out what's going on. But it wasn't like that. It wasn't like he was hospitalized. I mean, we didn't know.
No,
he was that hour, but we didn't know he was hospitalized until midway through the conversation. Somebody texted or something, and so we got there at about 4, and I think at about 5 we found out that we got a message that he had died, and it was, you weren't expecting it.
Yeah.
I mean, the girls instantly started bawling their eyes out, and I hadn't even read the text. She was just crying and shows it to me. So just kind of it's hard to find out. I don't think there's any way you're gonna hear that. And it be fun or good or, not sad. It's just not a fun thing to hear. And death is just, death is death. It's not, there's not very much good for the people that are alive in death.
Yeah.
I mean, so anyway, I went out to the guest house maybe 10 to 15 minutes shortly after hearing, because they have like this little offshoot house behind their house, and there was nobody out there, and I just figured I probably should, because it just didn't seem real, and it still really doesn't super seem real. I mean, I know we've already buried him and went through the funeral and all that stuff, and I've told like a million people that he was dead that I didn't want to have to, but I went out, just to kind of like figure out where I was and what I felt about it and what I, and so I was just sitting on this couch out there in the guest house, and I was like, okay, like there's, all these thoughts are running through your head of like, the last time you spent with him, did you tell him you loved it? Was it good? Was it as good as it could have been? Was it this? Like, why is this person, like, why did he have to die over, like, someone older? Like it's just like all these emotions that like go through your head, like, because he was just young. He was a good father. Like, it wasn't like, it wasn't like one of those people that you're like, Dad, you really need to go to the doctor and figure out what's wrong. No, he was going. And like it just really didn't get figured out, so like it wasn't.
Yeah. So
I was just like, okay, and I knew people were going to interrupt me before I was even necessarily ready to and I knew it was just basically like I just felt like in that 10 minutes I was like, I'm going to have to take on like the world now, like right now, like I'm going to have to take on like everybody's thing, and everybody's going to feel something different. Like I was like. So I was like, and I don't even know how I feel about it. Like, that's what I thought. Like, I don't even know how I feel about it. And everybody's going to feel like completely different and off the wall emotions, and they're going to act weird. I was like, I need to know what you want me to do in this. I was like, there's 3 things I didn't want to do. I was like, I don't want to go into regret. I struggle with condemnation like a lot. Like, I'm super hard on myself. Just knew that was an avenue that I could go down and like just be lost in, and then I would just be no good. I mean, I was like, and the truth is, like, really, like the last time I had spent with him was good. Mm-hmm. Was it like amazing because it was my last time with him? No, it probably wasn't the most of it. Like if I had known it was my last time with him, yeah, I'm sure there's things I would have done different, but it wasn't like. I just felt like, it was good. Like, it was good. I made time for him. I did focus on him, and I focused on him, like, more than I normally would have, because God had given me this dream, like, a couple weeks ago, where I thought I was maybe, like, gonna lose a family member. I didn't know it was him, but I just thought, so I was trying to, like, take my family time more seriously. So I'm glad I felt like God gave me that dream to prepare me for it, mm-hmm. and to make me value, and so that, for me, that was like a weight off of me instantly. This is like 10 minutes before somebody comes in and interrupts me and says, "Are you ready to deal with? Are you ready to talk to other people?" I'm like, "Does it matter?" I think I said basically, "Does it matter whether I'm ready?" Because it does. I'm going to have to talk to people. I was going to have to deal with this situation. It didn't matter whether I was ready or not, and I knew that in this 10-minute time that I'm like wrestling with my emotions and talking to God. Yeah. And so I just like set some things up like. I don't want to like wish, go into the weird thoughts of like, why did he die over the older people, or or he was so young, or why couldn't they just figure it out, and being mad at doctors, or all those things. For me, it was just like, it's not going to be helpful, and it's not going to make me helpful to anybody that I'm around, and that's what I need. And I just felt like I needed to be a strength to those that I was around, and I needed to do what was right in the situation. Okay, I'm not going in to the regret thing. I'm gonna choose. Yeah. I'm not gonna be bitter towards God. I'm not gonna like sit in here and ask stupid questions to myself to just get myself in a tizzy. I am gonna focus on like the fact that he was a great father. We had a great relationship. I loved my dad, and I know that he loved me. Like, people would come up to me constantly throughout this funeral, like, he really loved you. He talked about you all the time. I'm like, it's awesome that they do that, but a lot of people I feel like have done that. You like do that a lot of times because they feel like they're the father probably didn't ever communicate, and a lot of fathers don't communicate, but he did. Like, I know, like, yeah, I know, like, he didn't, my dad didn't leave me in doubt about how he felt about me. I could probably say, even to the behest of anyone, I'm probably his favorite child. I'm just saying. Sorry. Maybe it's not true, but
I always
feel like it's
I
true.
was his
And
favorite
that's all
child,
that,
and I wasn't even like
I was like, but the
biological
point is,
child.
whether
so
it's
he just
true,
treated us like
whether
that. Yeah.
it's true that I'm his favorite child or not, and like I'm not really serious necessarily
Yeah.
that I'm his favorite child. I'm probably not his favorite child, but he made me feel like I was his favorite child, even if I wasn't.
Yeah.
And I am his only son, so I mean, either way, I got the only son thing going for me. I mean, sorry, Matt, but you are a son-in-law. I mean,
Matt, yeah. Both Matts, yeah.
All you Matts. Sorry, boys.
Inside joke.
On the real.
They probably don't watch our YouTube channel.
I know I have a shirt that says DNA is greater than, or love is greater than DNA, but I don't mean it. I'm just kidding. I do mean it, but. So anyway, so I talked to my sister for a little bit, and then I had to go tell my grandma, his mother, which that was weird.
That's not an experience that you ever want.
It actually went
do.
okay, but I mean, going into that, you think, just thinking about the reality of telling someone that their child died, like, how
Chad
do you
did
tell
such
somebody?
a good job. He was like a total like rock star during everything, and he got to have his chance of having fun though, because Chad's dad was a motorcycle guy, and like we went out to the countryside where my sister lives. That's where we buried Chad's dad, and he got to go ride motorcycles. And as you can tell, he
there's
has
like
great
5 more
arms.
On my back.
Okay, so as you were riding that motorcycle though, like I can see your face. You were just like, there's healing happening over you, and like, but
it was fun.
He did crash into a barbed wire fence, and we had to get a tetanus shot. But what fun!
I needed him for
like,
the
why
China
not?
adoption.
You know,
anyway.
we needed to get him for our adoption anyway, so you might as well.
We would have just forgot to do it or lied about doing it if I hadn't crashed. So it was like a forced tetanus shot. It was good for me. But it was. I'm just kidding. We wouldn't have lied.
In the China adoption, there's no lying involved because it's so thorough. But yes. So I wanted to come and say like some things that I don't necessarily regret these things, but I just want to say them just in case you're in a situation with your parents right now where you don't get along with them, and or maybe you live far from them. Like, you should call them, like, because you never know, like, when you won't talk to them ever again. Because life is short, guys, and like literally eternity is long. Like, and so you just gotta make some steps into the right direction so that, like, in the future you can be together again, but you can also not regret like the decisions that you made with your life. One of the coolest things about this situation is like we're gonna see my father-in-law again in heaven, and like however many years, 50 years or so, like when we die,
that is the best
we're gonna see him again, and we're gonna rejoice. We're gonna have
the
a
best
family
part
reunion.
is knowing he's there. I mean,
and like
so many people die that you're like, I hope. And then a lot of people die that you're like, probably not. But like my dad, I was like I don't have a doubt.
He loved Jesus so much. He like shared Jesus all the time. He talked about God all the time. He served constantly. He helped us remodel our kitchen like all the time. And we actually
he's really good with our all of our kids. I mean, he's good with grandkids.
He snuggled with the grandkids. He played with
them. He's always been a quality time person. I mean, he spent time with me throughout my entire life, and he does the same with my kids.
It's just like, I want to encourage you, like, to spend time with your own children too, and to be the kind of parent that when they look back on it, be like, oh, that person spent time with me, they really cared about me, and they know where you're going to be when you die, like, so that they have that hope of someday meeting you in heaven as well someday. I know that our children have struggled quite a bit this week in different ways. Probably every form of mourning has happened. They've experienced loss a lot in their life through foster care. Our daughter, she says stuff like, look, Grandma Faye's husband, he died.
She got up second morning or the morning of the funeral or the day after, I don't know what it was, and like, I gotta go potty. And she comes back from potty and she's like, you're probably sad because your dad died. And I was like, probably so. It's just like, please don't talk to other people.
Very matter of the fact. And then other of our children have cried emotionally, like hysterically cried. And
Nay will probably do it for years to come. He does it about my grandpa Red that he met
just a few times.
He's only seen him a couple times, but still sometimes he just wails about it.
Yeah, it's hard for them to experience loss because they've experienced so much trauma in their own life.
Yeah.
It's just difficult.
It's not fun taking them to that kind of stuff either.
Fun.
I don't know that they're ready, but I mean,
No,
what do you do?
You
I mean, someone died, you can't just
that they're
leave.
very close to
Yeah.
as well.
And
So,
it matters, and they need to know. You know, it's like, oh yeah, we went to a funeral without you, and
yeah.
this person in your life is just not going to be there anymore. You know, I mean, it's not, you know.
At least they had someone in their life that cared about them a lot, and they know that. So
Yeah.
yeah. Those,
It's just hard walking with kids through stuff like that because you don't know what they're thinking all the time. Except for Jenny, she just says exactly what she's thinking. But even her, like her processing, you know.
Yeah. I want to share this quick story too before we end the video here. Like Chad's dad, Buddy, my father-in-law, he hated coffee so much. But like right before he died, he started buying bags of coffee, like fancy coffee that supported veterans. He handed it out to his friends that loved coffee. And then on the day he died, he ordered coffee, and it was delivered to the house the day after the funeral to Chad's stepmom.
The next Thursday or Friday or something.
And she was just like, you know, like we're both just like, wow, like how on earth?
Yeah.
You know. So that's just kind of the guy that he was, and he'll like his legacy will live on for a long time. For sure. So that is where we've been. We have been mourning. We have been crying. It has been a struggle for
sure. A lot
sure.
of traveling.
Lots of traveling.
Dealing with family
sure.
stuff. It was good to see family, you know.
Yeah, it was good to see him, but I wish it wasn't because of
when it's for that, it's like,
yeah.
It's a lot more, you talk about a lot of things that you would never ever talk about. Maybe some of it's good, but most of it's just weird detail, like funeral details, and you're like,
that you have to discuss.
Wow.
This is why we're hanging out. It's depressing.
It's family time right here. But
yeah.
But it was good seeing everybody and being there.
And being together.
Yeah, with people. And I thought the family did like really well together and stuff. You know, just
no fights.
Yeah, I mean, which may seem
but no, normally
weird,
there's fights at funerals. Yeah, like that's pretty
Yeah.
common, but there's no fights. So that was good too.
I was impressed with my family.
Everybody was doing good, but
yeah.
So that's what happened. We are gonna have another video here later in the week. We are about ready to go into home study mode. We have a home study on May 5th. They're gonna come into our house and examine it. So I'm gonna do a video of some of the things we're doing to fix up the house for you. But yeah, go and hug your kids, call your parents, and make sure you know Jesus. Those are my takeaways from this week. It's kind of intense, but it makes you realize the things that matter and don't matter. And I'm like, honestly, like, why are we working ourselves into the grave, basically? Like, why are we just focusing on money? Why are we focusing on things that don't last? Like, it could be gone like that. Like, he was supposed to retire in June, or my father-in-law was, and then he just passed away. Like what are we like, what are our goals in life? Are we living in a way that honors God or doesn't honor God? Like just some questions that like have been good in my own heart that has like, okay, like we need to be doing stuff for eternity and with purpose.
Yeah.
And leave a legacy for our children. So yeah. Well, I hope you guys are having the best day ever. Do you have anything else you guys want to say?
Maybe you can't say that for
Buddy
this
is having the best day ever. Grandpa Buddy
he's
is.
Probably having
he's having a better time with Jesus. Yeah, he's basking in
the
glory.
best forever,
the
ever.
best of times and the worst of times.
That's what you should change it to.
Well, I hope you're having the best of times and the worst of times.
No, you should change it to the best forever, ever.
I hope you're having the best forever, ever.
There you go.
Amen.
Yeah.
All right, we'll see you guys next time. Bye.